What is going on, Titans Nation? It's your guy Jameson here with Two Tone Station. Happy Sunday. Happy game day. We are here. The final preseason game of the 2024 season against the New Orleans Saints. Before we actually dive in and get busy with Chicago on week one, starters should play. I think Callie said 3-ish series. Excited for that, man. I'm excited to see what the offense has got in the tank. I'm also excited to see what the defense looks like. Obviously, we know that Harold and Jeff and D-Hop will not be playing for sure. Trying to think if I left out any other Legarius. So we know Legarius Sneed will also not be playing in the preseason. So we've got, what is that, 4 dudes? 4 difference makers. Big Jeff, Legarius, both, game-changing type players. So that is a big deal. But I'm super pumped. Super pumped that it's game day. I'll be actually going live here in a few hours when the game kicks off. We won't be able to watch it, obviously, on screen. I'll probably have to probably make it too transparent so that we don't run into any copyright issues with the NFL. So I won't be able to do a live stream of the game itself, but I will be watching it and live streaming if you guys want to come hang out. So with that said, today I decided, I was going through videos this morning actually, and I saw this pop up. And I honestly don't know what to expect. So this video here, we're talking about, I think the title of the video is "No One Realizes What the Tennessee Titans Are Doing, ... So what are we doing? I think we all, internally within the fan base, within the team, we know what's going on. We know what they're doing. But outside of that, nobody really knows what the Tennessee Titans are about. And nobody really respects the Tennessee Titans, it feels like. Every once in a while, you'll get this rare take from somebody in the national media that actually has some sort of respect for the Tennessee Titans as a team and what they're doing. But the vast majority of people in the national media, as well as in Vegas, I mean, if you look at the betting lines, Titans aren't projected to be very good. Bottom line, they are not projected to be very good. I think their projected win total, if I remember, it's either 5.5 or 6.5. It's not that many games, which I think is asinine. I would absolutely take the over on that one because I definitely see us easily winning more than 5 or 6 games. But whatever, not a big deal. I'm curious to see what this guy's got to say. So I'm going to drop probably a card. I'll throw a card up on the video so that you can check this video out directly if you'd like to. I will also shout out the dude who made it because I honestly, right here on this screen, I actually cannot see it. And rather than doing that, let me do this dude a solid and make sure that I give him proper credit. I don't know if I'm going to be pissed off at this guy or if I'm going to be okay with this dude here in a few seconds. So, or not a few seconds, but here in a few minutes. So let's see what this is all about, shall we? Because I think, I'm hoping at least that it won't be. Oh, that's why. Sorry, guys. I'm on my other account. I'm hoping it won't be something that pisses me off, this type of video. I really do. So we'll see, though. We shall see. It's, okay, so the guy who posted this, I don't know how I didn't remember that. Dude's channel name is Swaggy. 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 And again, the title of the video is "No One Realizes What the Tennessee Titans Are Doing, ... Those dots. That silence is deafening. So, without further ado, let's jump in and see what this is all about.
All right, boys, welcome back to another video. Swaggy here. So I made a Tennessee Titans video
Give me
yesterday for the
one
first
second,
time.
actually. I am going to connect the AirPods instead of listening through the speakers. Sorry, guys. Should have been prepped before the video, but, calling audibles. Sometimes you gotta call audibles. It is what it is. All right, let's see what we got.
And a lot of people
There we
seem to
go.
like it. It is kind of weird doing this
Alright,
as a
slow
Colts
it back.
fan because for the first. All
Okay,
right, boys,
so
welcome back to another video. Swaggy here. So I made a Tennessee Titans video yesterday for the first time, and a lot of people seem to like it. It is kind of weird doing this as a Colts fan because we're divisional rivals, but this is a young, promising football team with a new coaching staff, with a young quarterback in Will Levis, who last season on tape showed a lot of promise, right?
Okay, so for first and foremost, we know that Swaggy now is a Colts fan. So the one thing I want to say is mad props, mad respect to Swaggy for not, you know how we are, right? Division rivals. If it's a Jaguars fan, Colts fan, Texans fan, it doesn't matter. There's that disdain for each other naturally, I think. And so I got to give mad props here to Swaggy for actually putting some respect on the name and, not just automatically dogging the team because we're division rivals, right? So, and that goes for Titans fans too. Anthony Richardson, we don't know what he's going to do. We really don't know. We haven't seen, but that's the exact same that could be said for Will Levis. They both showed promise. We don't know. But I like and respect the fact that Swaggy here didn't just immediately dismiss and start dogging the team. He recognizes and realizes that this team is on the up and up, or at least on paper, that's how it appears.
How many of you guys have been talking to somebody and they're saying, oh, this and that, and they're like, go watch the tape? Well, if you actually watch Will Levis's tape, he can do things that almost nobody else in the game can. The way he throws the ball deep late on downs is just insane. Josh
It is funny because people are like, when they're trying to trash Will Levis, they're like, go watch the tape. Okay, I've watched the tape. It doesn't look that bad. There are times, absolutely, where he has rookie moments and where he's playing hero ball because of the situation that he was thrust into and because of the fact that he literally had like 0.2 seconds to get the ball out before Andre Dillard was like opening up. Never mind, I'm not even going to go with that dirty joke, but he was just, let's just say he was opening up a gaping hole on the left side every single time. And then Jalen Duncan came in as relief because Andre Dillard was literally that bad and did just as bad, if not worse. So yeah, I've watched the tape. Go ahead and tell me to watch the tape, and we can tell you all the things he did well in addition to those rookie mistakes, which everyone's going to have. Let's go ahead and, I know this guy's not dogging the Titans, but the same could be said for Anthony Richardson, right? Any rookie quarterback's going to have rookie mistakes, and anybody can nitpick at it.
Allen, Patrick Mahomes, if they did that, it would be talked about for days and days. Will Levis does it. Nobody seems to care, right? The Titans, they have a lot of new players on this team. Last season, they were still pretty competitive. Of course, they didn't start the year off with Levis. Same thing with the Colts. They did start off with Richardson, but he only played in 5 games. Levis was the same thing. There's just not a lot on him, which is exactly why this team has the potential to be dangerous, right? A lot of teams in the league right now, they don't have the potential to do anything because they don't have a quarterback like Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, a guy who can throw the ball deep, a guy who can use his legs, a competitor, a doc. Levis against the Niners in that preseason game, the dude literally laid out for the end zone, lowered his shoulder to try to get a touchdown in a preseason game. And I get you could say that was kind of foolish, but it just shows that
I wouldn't even call it foolish. I would call it reckless. And I've said this before on videos before, like, he needs to be able to protect himself, but that is so much easier said than done. You can't you don't just extract the competitiveness from somebody, because if you pull out the competitiveness or you try and tone down the level of competitiveness, then you're losing other aspects of his game too, because it's all a package deal, right? And Will Levis being a competitive MFer is part of that package, and I love it. I love it. Do I want him taking hits like he did in the preseason? Not at all. I saw those two. I saw those two defenders coming down, and I saw it, man. As soon as he tucked the ball, I was like, "Oh shit, here we go. He's going." And at first, it looked like, oh, there might be a little bit of room, but that room, I mean, it shrunk up real fast, and he got crunched. So no, I don't want him getting hit like that in the preseason, especially not the first preseason game of the first drive of the year. But I mean, I can't say that I don't love his competitiveness, because I do. I love it.
This guy is trying to win, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to do that. And that's huge for the Titans. Ryan Tannehill, I wasn't the biggest fan of him. Yeah, he had his moments. Yeah, the Titans won a lot of games, but they were never winning a Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill. But with Will Levis, his ceiling is Brett Favre, right? He could be Brett Favre if he hits his full potential.
I think
hopefully he does, man. I really hope he does. I'm rooting for Levis. I thought he was going to be a Colt.
I don't know. I think Brett Favre is good. I get where the comparison comes for Brett Favre because of Will Levis's arm strength, but I don't see him being Brett Favre. I was going to say Dan Marino, but I don't know if he's going to have that pinpoint accuracy or not like Marino did. So I'm going to have to go with, unfortunately, the cliche comp that everybody else is going with in Josh Allen, because I really truly do think that that's who that's who he reminds me of. He's very much a Josh Allen-esque type of quarterback, where he's got like that magic where he can put the team on his back and he's gonna make these crazy magical plays, but there is a cost to that as well, in that I do think that his turnovers, I think he's going to have a higher number of interceptions than maybe you would typically want on average, but I do think that he's going to compensate for that with those magical plays that I'm talking about. It's very much like Josh Allen. Josh Allen has turnover issues at times, but he's also considered one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. So I think that's all right as long as those interceptions don't become an issue to where it's causing you to lose games. Then I don't think it's going to become a topic of conversation as much as it would if you're turning the ball over all the time and it's costing your team games. Honestly, if it's costing the team games, the shit's not going to fly, obviously.
During draft day, ended up not happening. He went to the Titans. I just want to see the Titans, the Colts, the Jags, the Texans. I want to see everyone stay healthy. I want to see everyone be competitive. I don't want to turn on a football game and see a bad game where nobody's scoring, right?
Heck
where
yeah.
guys are going 3 and out. They're punting over and over again. No, I want to see scoring. I want to see development. I want to see progress. And that's exactly why I'm rooting for the Titans. And that's exactly why I'm going to talk about them again in this video today. So we didn't get to talk about...
100% agree with this guy. Like, who wants to watch trash-ass football? Nobody. I really do hope that the AFC South is like the most competitive division in football. We're primed to be. Every single roster has talent. Honestly, they do. It's all a matter of whether their quarterbacks hit, and we know CJ, from what we saw last year, it looks like he's going to hit. I highly doubt that he has some sophomore slump. I think he's going to hit. Now, the question then becomes, Will Levis and Anthony Richardson, and then Trevor Lawrence. I mean, at times, he's freaking great, and then at times, he's just like, meh. But, I mean, that's kind of how Will Levis was last year. There was times where he was great. There was times where he was meh. So if these quarterbacks can come to life and all of them can play at a high level, I really, truly believe that this division could be one of the most competitive in the NFL. And I agree with Swaggy here. I mean, why not? I don't want to turn on a football game where it's the Jaguars and the Titans or the Colts and the Titans. And, I mean, yes, it'll feel good for my feelings if we absolutely throttle those teams. But it'd also be nice if it's a fun and exciting game where there's some back and forth, and then maybe we pull away. I still want to beat their ass, but I'd like it to be exciting in the process.
About their defense. If you guys want to hear my thoughts on the offense, go and check out yesterday's video. The defense is interesting because last season it was pretty solid. 16th in terms of points allowed. That's about average. That's actually exactly average. So now you guys have a new defensive coordinator.
Defense as a whole may have been solid, but our secondary was just straight shit. Straight shit. And quarterbacks were getting rid of it so fast because we were afraid to play man and press man coverage that dudes were just getting rid of it so fast that there were no answers. So the pass rush could never get home either because the quarterback was getting rid of it so fast. Our cornerbacks couldn't hold their own. This year's going to be way different.
In Denard Wilson, quote, "From day one, we press everything. If you get free access, it's easy for the quarterbacks to complete balls. So what I do is I want to create hesitation at the line of scrimmage and make them learn it the hard way, make them earn it, throw the 50-50 ball, but everything else we're going to challenge," and quote. So you can see that he's going to press. He's going to send pressure. He wants his corners going one-on-one. The reason why this is so significant is because if you go ahead and you look at the Titans' corners, they of course have L'Jarius Sneed, who's one of the best press coverage corners in the game. They also have guys like, let me look at their depth chart quick. Yeah, Chidobe Awuzie, I believe is how you pronounce
Quandre
it.
Diggs,
he came over
Jamal
in free agency.
Adams,
The depth chart's
Jarvis
kind of
Brownlee
funky,
Jr.,
dude. I'm looking at it right now. But of course,
Gabe
the Titans,
Judy,
they also have Roger
dudes.
McCreary, who's in the nickel. That has the potential to be the best 1-2-3 corner punch in the game. And I'm huge on potential. Yeah, sure, maybe the floor of the Titans isn't that high, right? Most people have the Titans finishing last in this division for a reason, but their ceiling is winning this division, right? The Titans could end up winning this division. It would surprise everyone, but the reason why they can do it is because of these corners. Their new DC. They've got Jeffrey Simmons. They drafted T'Vondre Sweat.
That's one thing I'll probably disagree with Swaggy on. I think to win the division, Will Levis has to be the guy. And this offense can't only average 17 points a game. That's how they're going to win the division. I 100% agree that the defense is important, but as mentioned, the defense was already pretty solid last year, minus the secondary and the fact that the pass rush couldn't get home because the quarterback could get rid of the ball so fast, like I mentioned. But, statistically speaking, the defense wasn't, the problem last year, right? It was the offense. And so, I'll have to respectfully disagree with Swaggy on this one. I think, yes, having L'Jarius and Cheeto and Roger and all these guys who are dogs and aggressive at the line of scrimmage is obviously going to help tremendously, especially for the pass rush, because if you give those guys just a little bit longer, they can get home. I do think that's huge, but I don't think the defense is what's going to be what propels this team into the postseason. I think that's going to be the offense for sure.
Who seems to be ahead of schedule. I get he wasn't amazing in that preseason game he played in. He's been killing it in camp and practice. He's just going to continue to develop. They brought in Kenneth Murray Jr. Arden Key is very good. You talk about the finesse king. This dude's a stud. Harold Landry III is a good athletic linebacker. I just like this team. I think it's competitive. I think it needed a new sort of restart with their coaching staff. A new guy calling the plays, a new DC, and some fresh faces. The Titans, they brought in Calvin Ridley. They brought in L'Jarius Sneed. That's a huge offseason. Of course, they brought in Tony Pollard, who I think you guys are going to appreciate more than Derrick Henry. And not prime Derrick Henry. Yes, even last season, Henry, behind a bad offensive line, I believe he actually led the league in yards. I'm not saying he's better than Derrick Henry, but you guys are going to like the way he runs the ball and complements Tyjae Spears. You guys will like the run game this season more than last. A lot of that has to do with, of course, bringing in Lloyd Cushenberry III. If you guys saw that preseason game against the Niners, there's a reason why the Titans were rushing the ball at will. They started off hot. They went down. They scored.
Yeah, so Swaggy's got to be careful with his words. We all appreciated Derrick Henry, and I don't know if saying that we will appreciate Tony Pollard more is necessarily accurate, but I do understand what he's saying. That's why I say he's just got to choose his words wisely, because what he's saying is that there's the different style of running is what we will appreciate. Is that instead of this constant downhill power style running or outside zone where we are just trying to get Derrick Henry, a full head of steam before he can make that one cut that he's got and hit the second gear into the second level if he's not getting hit 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage because it was terrible. Whew. I'm just saying, I do understand where he's going in that we will appreciate this different running style more. There's a lot more things we can do and be a lot more unpredictable with Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears in the backfield. So I do totally agree with what he's saying in that, we will appreciate that this is a new style of running, or a new approach to the run game than we've typically seen in the past, and there's going to be a lot more involvement in a variety of different ways than we're used to seeing, which is awesome. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, and I still think it's amazing that, there are some people who don't understand why you would get two running backs that are literally almost identical as far as skill sets go, and to me, it's not hard to see, and it's staying unpredictable. Both those dudes could be out on the field. They can both do the exact same thing. They could not both be on the same field, and you don't know what you're getting because they can do the exact same thing. So it doesn't matter if Tyjae Spears is on the field or if Tony Pollard is on the field. We can run the same exact plays, or our catalog of plays doesn't change because one person is in the game versus the other. Where last year, as soon as Derrick Henry came in the game or was in the game, or now it's third down, and like the Titans did so many effing times, and it pissed me off so many effing times, third down, off comes Derrick Henry, in comes whoever, it doesn't matter. Last year it was Tyjae. It doesn't matter who comes in afterwards. It's predictable. Derrick Henry comes off the field because he can't do what? The one thing he kind of struggled with was what? Pass protection. So if the one thing he can't do well, is pass protection, and they're taking him off the field on third down, which in most cases were clear passing downs, like, I don't know, man, too predictable. So I fully understand why you got guys that are almost identical as far as skill sets go. But their personalities aren't identical. They're different dudes. One guy's bigger than the other. Like, they're still their own dude. It's just what they can do is similar. And I've said it before where I think Baltimore is going to be unpredictable too now with Derrick Henry, just from a running game standpoint. I think they're going to be more unpredictable in the fact that either Lamar can take off, or they can feed Henry or throw it. So, yeah, I definitely get what Swaggy's saying here.
Scored twice in a row with Levis, with the starters. It's just night and day difference. JT Latham has superstar potential. The left side set with Skrzynovsky and Latham. The middle of that with Cushenberry III is one of the best run blocking centers in the game. The right side's completely hit or miss. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be mid. I just have no clue. But everything just seems to be trending upwards. Of course, I really do like. I don't know how to.
So talking about the right side of the offensive line, like, that is something that is huge for me today in this preseason finale. I want to see how Dylan Radins and MPF do next to Lloyd Cushenberry, just to see how that right side of the offensive line performs. In week 1 of the preseason, in that first preseason game, they held their own. Dylan Radins and MPF were maulers out there. I said that in my very first video, and I'll say it again. Those dudes were mauling people out there. So if they can keep that up and stay consistent with it, and Dylan Radins has always been a decent run blocker, he's got to improve in his pass blocking techniques. And I would say that nobody is better at getting the most out of their offensive linemen as Bill Callahan. I mean, we're running the full-blown Callahan auto parts out this MF for real. So I'm pumped, but that is something that I'm watching today for sure with a close eye in the preseason finale, is how that right side of the offensive line does. And, I mean, while we're on the topic, I want to see Stoney. I'm excited. I'm pumped for Stoney. I'm so happy that he's back out there. That was gruesome. He tore up his leg, and Craig Ackerman lost his job because of it. Rightfully so. I'm so pumped that Stoney's back. So pumped. But, yeah, right side of the offensive line, definitely want to see how they perform today.
pronounce it, man. Is it Okonkwo? I believe it's Okonkwo. Their tight end. He's got
Okonkwo.
good speed and size.
It might even
6'3",
be Okonkwo.
238. I use him all the time in Madden, so maybe I think he's a stud just because of that. But I know in
He
real
is a
life
stud
he's
in
had some good
Madden.
moments too.
You haven't checked
Just
out
proper
my video
consistent
from
quarterback play will
yesterday
help him.
I'm doing a Madden franchise with the Tennessee Titans, going all the way through the season. See how it goes. Anyway, kicked it off yesterday, week 1 against the Bears. It was a close one, guys. It was a close one. I'm not going to give any spoilers in this video. If you haven't seen it already, go check that out. But Chig, man, let's just say right before halftime, Chig Okonkwo made a huge play. Huge play. And it changed the game. It changed the game. Let's hope he can do it in real life for sure. But yeah, to this guy's point, he's a beast in Madden. Faux show.
Tyler Boyd, free agent pickup. DeAndre Hopkins does not get talked about enough. Maybe the best hands in the game. I don't think I've ever
Strongest,
seen
probably.
DeAndre Hopkins drop a pass. Like, I'm gonna go to YouTube quick and type in DeAndre
Dude,
Hopkins
has
drop.
sticky
I don't think he
hands,
ever
man.
had. He has to
Doing
have,
things
right? But
that your kids like slap
I'm
him
gonna-
against
let's see
the
if
wall.
anything comes up.
That's Diop.
drop.
Just like, slap,
Okay,
give me
yeah.
that.
So literally 3 years ago, there's a video. It says DeAndre Hopkins drops rare. It's a minute and 17 seconds. 2 years ago, D-Hop did drop this. So the fact that they're posting a video of him dropping passes with how rare it is just shows this guy's hands. We know we can run routes.
And the fact that that video is only a minute and 17 seconds out of a how long has D-Hop been in the league? I mean, that says a lot. That says a lot. I mean, speaking of Chig, if there's anything you could fault him for, it would be drop passes. I could probably make a minute and 17 second long video of Chig Okonkwo dropping passes already. And we're only into his 3rd season this year. So, yeah, it's pretty big. D-Hop doesn't drop passes. Like I said, it's like them sticky hands. Pow!
He went over
Give
1,000
me
yards
that.
last season, 1,057. He's going to be even better with Ridley because of his ability after the catch. And I just like what the Titans have. I mean, this is a very talented roster. I don't know why I didn't talk about it more this offseason. It looks really good
Because you're a Colts
on
fan, it's
paper.
okay.
And it's played well in the preseason. It's played well in camp and these joint practices. I think the thing is just Will Levis. There's just not enough on him for us to truly understand this team. But pretty soon we'll get a good glimpse of it because the Titans, they start off Sunday, September 8th.
The exact same thing can be said for the Colts. The exact same thing. But the problem that I have is the Colts get hyped up way more as if Anthony Richardson has already proven something. AR hadn't proved nothing. Will Levis, in my opinion, has shown more than Anthony Richardson just because he played more. He also showed more bad than Anthony Richardson because he played more. I don't know where the hype for the Colts comes from, at least from a national media standpoint. I don't know how this guy Swaggy feels about it or about the Colts. I haven't seen any of his other videos. He may have covered this already where he also agrees that the hype surrounding the Colts and Anthony Richardson is kind of a little premature, but who knows? I personally think it is for sure. I think the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts are very much in the same boat as one another. Like, pretty even playing field here, in my opinion.
8th at Chicago. That's a huge game. Absolutely huge game for the Titans. If they can go on the road and knock out the number 1 overall pick in Caleb, a team that a lot of people have making the playoffs, that would be a big win for them. Because then they come back and they're against the Jets and the Packers. Then they're on the road against Miami. We're talking about 4 teams that are expected to win double-digit games. Right? That's not easy. Early bye week in week 5. And then they're at home against Indianapolis, at Buffalo, at Detroit. Very tough schedule. I mean, we're looking at 8 games in a row.
Telling y'all. I looked at that schedule and I was like, for a 4th place schedule, it's pretty freaking hard from a strength of schedule standpoint, and especially when you're talking about expected results. The teams that we're facing, their expected results. It doesn't mean that they're going to reach the potential that everyone is expecting them to reach, but it does factor into it. I mean, it's a rough and tough schedule for the most of the way, actually. I mean, it's going to be a tough season. So, I mean, if we can sneak away the first half of the season with, I'd say if we're talking half the season, at least 6 wins, I think we're solid. Super solid, actually.
For the Titans against teams that I think are all going to be super competitive. And then the schedule starts to soften out. New England, Los Angeles Chargers, Minnesota, Houston, Washington, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Indy, Jacksonville, Houston.
But he says Houston and even Indy in there. Like, that's a soft schedule. And I wouldn't even say, because he said, the Jets, he mentioned the Jets are part of the gauntlet. I'd rather play the Jets than the Texans right now. That's for damn sure. So, I mean, I guess I see what you're saying, and I don't know. I think it's a gauntlet the whole way. I mean, you can't sleep on anybody, and this team doesn't have the luxury to sleep on anyone. This team has a lot to prove. A lot to prove still.
And this is not an easy schedule. I don't think it's to the point where the Titans can't be good, but they can't win 9-10 games. If, of course, they end up playing their best. But this just is not easy. I mean, the only game that they play that I think is going to be a team that's just not going to be very good is the New England Patriots. I think everyone else is going to be competitive. Even Washington, I think they're going to be very competitive. They spent the most money. They added in the most players. They've got Jaden Daniels. Like, that's not going to be an easy game, and it's on the road. But this is a good test for the Titans. Very, very good test for this football team to see what they can do. I'm going to be honest, I don't think the Titans are going to be the best team in the world this season, but I think next season is when we'll start talking about them being a legit team in this AFC. Because remember, this is the harder conference, guys. The NFC, if the Titans were in the NFC, legitimately, I'd be having them
all right, Swaggy,
having a chance to make a run at that.
I understand you don't think
AFC,
we're going to be very good, but what do we got?
I really don't know. I think the one team in our division that can legit win it all is the Texans. I don't know if the Jags, my Colts, or your Titans can. But maybe you guys disagree. If you do, feel free to let me know down below in the comment section. My name is Swaggy. If you want more Titans videos, smash the like button. Peace.
This 2020.
All right, so he's going to say safe and not give us a record prediction. He just says that he doesn't think the Titans are going to be very good this year, and that if any of the teams in the division he could see taking it the whole way, it's the Houston Texans, which I agree with the Houston Texans piece of it. I think they're going to be the biggest threat in the division. Out of all the teams, they are probably the most complete and most talented, especially if C.J. Stroud does not, go through any type of sophomore slump, which I don't anticipate that he will. I think it's up for grabs after that. I really do. I think it's a wild card. I think it could be Tennessee, it could be Indy, it could be Jacksonville. I think Tennessee could win the division. I think there is a path to win the division for Tennessee. I think there's a path for each and every single one of these teams in the division to win the AFC South. But getting there is going to be difficult. Like he said, it is difficult. But I do think the Titans are going to be a good team. I think they're going to be very underrated, and I think they're going to open a lot of people's eyes. But I do honestly agree that I don't think we're going to see the complete benefits of these changes, and I don't think we're going to see a complete team where all the chemistry is in place and they've really kind of mastered the systems and everybody knows what everybody's supposed to be doing. Everybody to your left and to your right you're comfortable with. It's kind of automatic. I don't think you reach that point until next season or late in this, later into this season. But I do think they could surprise people. I don't think the Titans are going to be bad, y'all. I really don't. I would be very surprised. The team was 6-11 last year, and they were bad, y'all. Bad. And they still went 6-11. I really don't see a world where we have gotten so much better on paper and we do worse than 6-11 again. I really don't. I really, really don't. I think we're going to be solid, guys. I really do. I think we're going to be solid. I do. But anyway, I wasn't, I don't have anything negative to say about this video. I think, he stayed safe at the end. Didn't give us a record prediction, but it's okay. I think most of what he said in this video is actually accurate. And he, like I said, he showed a little bit of respect to the team for the changes that they made, so I got to respect him for that. As a Colts fan, people don't show us a lot of respect as Titans fans. So him being a Colts fan and doing that, I got to show him a little bit of love for that. So with that said, I am pumped for this afternoon's game. I will see y'all later if you decide to hang out. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy any of the videos, please don't forget to like those videos and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys later this afternoon when it is game time. And as always, tighten up, guys.